Right, the video I don't want to make, but I'm gonna rebut everybody in check 1 2 check. I see a lot of stuff like Top Music Attorney and everybody siding with Rick Beato, but what a lot of people don't understand is Universal Group has the power and the size. Rick Beato's not gonna sue Universal. It's a $52 billion company. And if you go about copyright law and you're going to try to sue them, you're going to have the film industry, books. Now, fair use. Fair use is for educational, right? Why ain't all the fucking books in the world in the school library or libraries? It's an educational place. It's a library that houses books based for education. Because there is a point in fair use that a content creator can put the copyright strike and it can be determined. Now, there's numbers of factors on fair use. But what are some of them? Fair use copyright allows limited use of copyrighted material without permission for purposes like criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Teaching, criticism, and commentary. So, if you're dealing with copyrighted material and you know you're going to get a strike so let's see, what is the cause and effect that everything can happen from this? YouTube says, fuck it, we'll end it. Demonetize everybody's videos. Nobody can make money from YouTube anymore. It's their platform. They dictate how it goes. They do the copy strike working with labels because they own ASCAP and BMI as an entity. Yes, they can be sued, and they're in cahoots with the labels and saying that parody and criticism. And then fair use goes into educational purposes. But let's say you do take it to court. You're going to have every actor, every musician, every label, everybody is going to say, it's my product. I should say how it's being used, even in educational value. You can't take a Beyonce song and just put it in every school around America for free. Doesn't work that way on fair use. People are twisting how it's done. The determine or whether a fair use is made considering 4 specific factors: the purpose and character of the use. Rick's mocked record labels as well as artists. So it's not a good intention. It's premeditated and shows his intent. What did I say about biting the hand that feeds you? His intent is poor. It's bad. He's mocking the labels. Now they're pissed off. They let some of it go, but now they're not. Top Music Attorney, you're full of shit. You're completely fucking wrong. His intent. What is he doing about criticizing and doing it from a standpoint of view of educational? Is he a vocational certified instructor or teacher in the state that he lives? No. So what right does he have education-wise unless he's an actual fucking music teacher certified? None. Go to court, you'll fucking be ate up. End of fucking story. Miss Music Attorney that don't know dick. Dick. That's the first rule. Second one. The nature of the copyrighted work. The nature. On how is it educational? The nature of the work. Are you playing the original recording? Or is the nature of it to break down an original song by showing the parts? You see, you can't play any original content, but you can use the song and break it down part by part without the original song. Intent goes back to the nature of the copyrighted work. How are you breaking it down? The amount and substantiality of the portion used. The effect of the use on potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. which means you can't make money on somebody else's creation. End of fucking story. End of story. End of fucking story. Everybody that wants to talk shit and don't know the law, I don't know what to fucking tell you. Now let's look at possible scenarios. YouTube says, fuck it. We'll demonetize and go back to the old YouTube. We collect all the ad revenue and we eliminate all the comments and you can just show your stuff. End of fucking story. They can't do that. Why not? They own the fucking platform. Elon Musk bought X. Let Rick Beato buy YouTube. Run it the way the fuck he wants. And then he could deal with all the lawsuits. And then the same thing mocking Don Henley. See you in court, Don. Well, where the fuck are you? Where's your lawsuit? You're not suing Universal. You're trying to work out a fucking deal because you're begging because you know you fucked up. The only one that's trying to get you pulled off of YouTube is you. Even Red Shoal said, I don't understand it. The dumbest of the bunch that I thought would have been the one that ignorant says the most logical thing. He don't get copyright strikes and he avoids it. You want to push the envelope and mocking Don Henley. So your intent is poor. You keep talking about it and divulging information on what you're doing. You never speak about. You're just fucking. You're ignorant to the fact. That's why you've had a failed production company, failed management company, failed label, failed band, failed everything. You don't make the proper decision based. Well, who's giving you this fucking information? Any lawyer will tell you, listen, bro, you know how much it's going to cost you to go for a lawsuit? You're better off going through the back door. And you don't tell these people, hey, stop talking about lawsuits because if Universal takes me to fucking court, I'm in trouble. I'm in a lot of trouble because I ain't got that kind of dough. And if you don't think the Beyoncés and the Jay-Z's and the book writers and the film companies and everybody that has anything copyrighted don't show up, what, you think copyrighted is just music? No. Poor, poor, poor. So then they analyze it. The nature of the work. Using factual works like a news report is more likely to be considered fair use than a highly creative works like a novel or a poem. Using unpublished works, amount of substantial, let's say educational. Using work to teach, research, or for scholarship is often favored in fair use determinations. Or for scholarship, using a work to teach, research, or for scholarship. He's not an educational instructor. This is where people fail lives. When you go to court, okay, educational purpose. Mr. Beato, are you an certified vocational instructor or certified teacher in the state that you live in or any government entity? No. Then you're not qualified to fucking teach. It's right in black and white. Top music attorney. You suck. Favored and fair use. Educational purpose. That means a school or something of that. Teaching. Or you can come on here and play the parts. Lessons 305 does it all the time with no copyright strikes. It's that easy. They're going to look and determine on how you're teaching, your research, or scholarship. For scholarships. Educational. Not just to teach somebody. Nature of copyrighted work. Using factual works. Let's see. Amount of substantiality. Generally, the less of the work that is used, more likely to be considered fair. So the less you use of it, the more it would be fair. Even a small amount can weigh against fair use if the portion taken is the heart of the matter or the most valuable part of the work. So you take a piece of it and you educate people on that, not the whole fucking thing in one shot. Effects of the use on potential market. This factor considers whether the use is likely to harm the market for the original copyrighted work or its potential future. This is where Wings of Pegasus may have a problem, because it can hurt. A use that creates a substitute for the original work, thereby reducing sales or value, is likely to be considered fair. No set rules. Key consideration, no set rules. There are no exact rules or percentages of how much of a work can be used. Each situation is unique and must be judged by the context and the balancing of the four factors. Case by case, judges look at specific circumstances of each case to determine if it's a fair use, making it flexible but complex. Other exceptions. While fair use is significant, there are also other exceptions to copyright law, such for non-profit, face-to-face instructional uses of movies in classrooms. See, they're talking about educational in school. Or like in a music school, like Guitar Center's educational program. Other exceptions of copyright law. So, what's copyright law say? Now, you got to remember, copyright law is for everyone. Copyright law states creators of original works of authorship fixed in a tangible medium are granted exclusive rights to reproduce, distribute, create derivative works, and publicly perform or display their works for a limited time. So even a limited, it's right there. Those are the exceptions. So a content creator that owns ownership can say, I don't want that used in a fucking school library. I don't want it for educational. I want people to buy it. That's why I created it. Hence, while I send you a copyright saying cease and desist on copyright. Here's what I keep saying. Creative derivative works based on the original. The original cannot be played any seconds. See, this Corzine guy that was on, Rick, he don't know jack. He's a fucking guy that worked for the government in California. We all know how that worked. So you have a work publicly, there's certain works for paintings and photographs. So somebody that takes a picture in public, they own that image. I own my image through here and through Atlantic Records. I'm copyrighted through my own creation. See how that works? I'm in private. This is a private setting. You could use my face in a public setting. So like if I'm at Disney and snap a picture, you can go on and use that picture, but you can't use my face off of this. Zach. It's right there. Under display. Copyright protects expression of idea, not the idea itself. Limited duration. Let's see. Copyrighted law protects a wide range of original works, including literary, musical, dramatic, pictorial, graphic, sculpture, motion pictures, audiovisual works, and sound recordings. I told you, this is bigger than music, and this is why Universal Music might uphold their authority over Rick. He signed a user agreement. He's not getting permission. It would have been very easy for him. And did you know that there's a copyright program that you have to complete after you get a strike through YouTube to remove the strike? So YouTube is in charge of the strikes. Universal does not send the copyright direct. They send it to YouTube and YouTube sends it to him. Universal's not inside the YouTube program. People are like, yeah, but Universal sent it. Yeah, they sent it to YouTube, to the platform that it protects, and YouTube sends it to the creator because their page is off of here. Universal doesn't have access to the YouTube server and just send them a copyright. That goes through messaging and everything else. It goes on your video. The only one that could put a copyright strike on your video is fucking YouTube. Universal doesn't have access to their servers. Anyone that says that's a fucking idiot. Number one. And I've had people say that to me. He's not suing YouTube, he's suing Universal. Universal gave him the strike. Yeah, but it still has to go through the fucking platform. What are you fucking not understanding as a... That's crazy to me that there are people that don't know how the system works. Automatic protection. In the U.S., copyrighted protection arises automatically the moment a work is created and fixed in a tangible form. So when I create this, I own this video. But I'm going through user agreements. I own my image. I am me. I created this video. I own any portion of this video. Zach, I'm not going to be a dick to you, so don't worry. You know, so even misrepresentation, what Andy Wood did, like coming on my and misstating everything and calling me a troll and not naming me by name, but coming on my channel after he said he got a phone call from Tom, he doesn't understand. You can be sued for that. That's misinformation. Publicly. I'd have to reconsider that one. Nah, I wouldn't fuck with Andy or Tom. I wouldn't do that to you guys. I'm not that big of a dick. I could be. So take that as a lesson, you two. Next time you have a laugh over the phone about calling someone a troll, better make sure it's fucking accurate. 1000%. Jesus Christ. So there's the copyright law. What are the 3 copyright laws? What are the 5 copyright laws? What is that? Reproduction, adaptation, publication, performance, and display. Copyright does not protect ideas, facts, methods, systems, or discoveries themselves, nor does it protect short phrases, titles, slogans, names, or generic, because those are protected by trademarks. So, factual information. So, copyright doesn't protect facts like historical information or other data because some of that's been made up. But what it does protect is defamation of character. And like, if you flat out lied about somebody's video without knowing it, that's defamation of character and can go into livelihood. So you can sue for certain things. Now, Zach, the image thing is owned by photography, so you know there's exemptions under that. What are the 5 exemptions? Just goes into news reporting, criticism, comment, teaching, scholarship, and research. So, teaching, research, scholarship. I don't see a win. I see a lot of bad things happening with this. That's my opinion. I'm going to stick to that. I see a lot of bad stuff happening. I see cause and effect. I see YouTube shut and shut. Listen, you want to change the platform, Rick? And Universal's not trying to shut you down. You're trying to shut yourself down by doing the content. It's not yours to put up. Go get permission. And here's the problem with this, because YouTube has thousands and thousands of free songs with no royalties that you can use for fair use. They do a list for you. You're too lazy to go on the list. You don't tell people you have to take a YouTube class to get the strike removed. There's a lot of information you leave out. And then, see in court, Don, mocking somebody and divulging information. The number one rule is, what did they tell you in a lawsuit or any kind of criminal activity? Keep this shut. But you're too stupid to even know that because you're running your mouth. What you should do is get a high-profile attorney, pay millions of dollars, and go after Universal. But you're not going to do that, are you? But now you put yourself in a position to lose your $15 to $25K a month. Now, what do I think? On a personal level, I think they should take you the fuck down and set an example that you can't fuck with copyrighted material. You know why? Because I'm an Atlantic recording artist, which was on Arista, as well as Scotty Brothers. I don't think you should be fucking with the industry, because that's a big industry to fuck with, because it goes into authors, films, photography. You're barking up the wrong tree, buddy. Again, another foolish attempt, poor business decision. And I have 3 key rules that I tell. What did I just do videos on? The biting the hand that feeds you, the music labels I called, and then what else? The ego, bigger than the head, that musicians have that ruin their careers. This is a classic example. Classic. And what's my other 3 rules? Family first, friends second, music last. Don't fix what ain't broken. You lie and you made your own bed, lie in it. Those are all great examples of sayings. Anyway, I got some stuff coming up. I did my CAT scan, my CT scan. Didn't go so good for me. I ended up sick from the iodine, and I got like some weird mark over here where that is. You can see it a little bit. I don't know what the hell's going on. I see an ENT specialist coming up. Who knows what's happening. Hopefully it's not bad. I'll let you guys know. That's why I haven't been doing videos. I haven't been feeling good. Take it for a grain of salt. I ain't got caught. Look. Nothing girl, born a red, joy comes around, goes around. You don't get copyright strikes for that. I'm playing the song. But I'm not playing the original recording. Lessons 305 is a great example of how to examine songs on an educational purpose. You even stated in your videos, see you in court, Don, mocking him for poor intent. And then the second thing you said was, I even have the artist that wrote the song come on here, and I can't even play that with. That's not fair use. You're even demonstrating. This is so moronic. I do not agree with him because it's in a bad light. It comes from a bad place, and it's not for everybody. And he's not going to help anybody. All these people can jump on board and acclaim he's right and he's using it for fair use. He does sometimes. And those are the times he don't get a strike. Listen, let me put it to you this way. If he used my music, I'd call Atlantic up right now and say, listen, tell him to knock it the fuck off and send him a letter. If you don't take it down, we're going to go after him. And when we go to court, I'm going to show that he's not a real educator because he's not certified as a vocational or a teacher in any state, and we're going to ruin him. Why is YouTube putting the strikes on? They don't want a part of a lawsuit, so they go to automatic strikes when they hear the recording. It's just how it is. Like it or not. You can either go by the rules and avoid it, or just fucking grin and bear it. And when your channel gets taken down, and it happens all the time, nothing you can do. Peace out. Hope you enjoyed the video.